always felt like I didn't really even like Halloween, and yet for some reason, all I want to do right now is make Halloween builds. I guess I've just been feeling really inspired lately. I feel like I've gone an entire year without ever once playing with occult sims, and now all of a sudden, all at once, I'm making so many like vampire, witchy, werewolf houses for my sims. So you're probably not surprised that today I'm gonna try to make another Halloween house, but I think this time I want to go for some more witchy vibes. I just built a haunted house, and this weekend I'm gonna post a renovation of Vlad's giant mansion. I'm gonna start working on that tonight on my Twitch stream, so if you want to come by and watch me struggle, I will link my Twitch channel down below. My name is just lilsimsie on Twitch, so it's super easy to find. We do a lot of Sims over there, specifically Sims building, much like we do here on my YouTube channel, just longer form and maybe a little bit more chaotic. I think my concept for this is to build a sort of witchy cottage and then decorate it for Halloween. Kind of channeling Halloween Town a little bit with this. You're not allowed to laugh, but I saw this little witch's cottage porcelain village item, and this is kind of like the exact vibes that I'm going for. I think this company makes a whole bunch of little Christmas village decor items, and they cost like $100, but this is part of their Halloween set. Obviously, this isn't gonna be like an exact recreation because we can't really do that sort of thing in The Sims, but we're gonna try and use that as the inspiration. In the picture, they had that really pretty tower attached to the house, but I don't know if that's super random or not. And I think in our version, I kind of want to have a second floor, even if it's just a small one like this. This house is gonna end up being really, really small by accident. I didn't really mean to do that, but I guess it's not a bad thing. I did set out to build a cottage, so it makes sense for it to be small. Yeah, this is like kind of ugly. I don't know. I wish it was possible in The Sims to make stuff a little bit less grid-like. I know that sounds ridiculous because like the whole thing about The Sims is that it's on a grid, but I just wish that we could make like the walls kind of curvy. I want this to seem like a really old house, and I want it to be kind of like slanted or something. I am kind of liking this shape so far on the exterior. What is that? Oh, that's so strange. Okay, I don't know. Should it be bigger? Maybe I should just scoot it over. Oh no, it is really small on the inside, and the upstairs is kind of hidden completely because of the roof that I've done. I like how the one in the picture has a little chimney, so I'm gonna try and copy that too. That's not little, that's actually kind of tall. Okay, how about that? That's better. Okay, I'm sort of liking this. I'm just adding a couple extra things on the back to try and hopefully make this look a little bit less ugly. I'm sort of thinking something like this. So we've got a tiny back porch area, and then maybe that's the whole shell of the house. I feel like that came together really fast. Like it was almost too easy. So now I'm nervous the inside's gonna go badly. Oh, this is a complete and total mess. Okay, hold on, hear me out. What I'm thinking right now is that maybe we could have a bedroom here on this side and a little bathroom next to it. This little area becomes kind of like a hallway, so we can have the doors in there. And then the rest of the house is one big, long kitchen, living, dining room setup. I guess if we have to, we could make this part bigger too. And that might be good because then we have a little bit more space. I kind of want to close some parts of it off. Like I feel like it would be good if we had some archways and like a slightly more closed floor plan. Can you fit a cauldron in the kitchen? I don't think so. I really want to, but it might be a little bit too tight, especially if we want to have a back door. They should be able to walk around that just fine. And if they can't, that's honestly like a major embarrassment on behalf of The Sims. So that's not my problem. I think I'm gonna leave it like that. We can have a tiny bit of an upstairs, so I might try to hide a little bit of one up here. I don't really know where to put it though, is kind of the problem, because anywhere that it could fit, it's gonna look really weird. It might also be kind of cool to have a basement, but I don't know if I'm prepared for that. Oh, unless, I wonder if we could try to steal some of this and then have a basement here. It doesn't need to be a huge basement. I just want to have enough space in the basement for us to put like a cauldron and some witchy stuff, because we can fit some of it up here, but there's not really a lot of room upstairs. I just don't really want to have all black and gray stuff inside, but like, look at how pretty that is. I'm really awful about using the Realm of Magic doors and windows because I just don't like them. Like most of the time, I think these are kind of ugly. I really want to use them, I do. I just find it so difficult to find places where they actually make sense, because most of the time it seems like such a random addition. And then there's also just like not really enough size variation in them. I want to have like a little tiny window and some bigger versions. I feel like we don't have enough to work with to do a whole house. If it feels like there's not enough to do a house this small, then how can you possibly do a big giant house? I think this little guy will come in handy if we can get it to match the colors well enough. Oh no, we can't. We can't get it to match the colors well enough. Why does that come in all black and none of the other windows do? Can someone give me one good reason as to why the swatches of all these windows are so bad? This is the problem. They give you so many things that you actually can't work with. There's like all these variations and none of them match. Not a single one of these windows matches. So this is like its complete own thing. Even the other black swatches aren't the same, because that's stone and this is wood. Oh my god. Okay, this is fine. It's fine. I'm gonna try and use a bigger door because this one kind of clips a little bit, but I don't really mind that. I'm like okay with it clipping because it only clips on the exterior. It's like the same size as a short wall height one on the interior. Is that so horrendously ugly? It is a little bit. I know it is. I have eyes. I can see it. I don't know. I'm almost like kind of liking it because I've never used that before. I wonder if I could try to do this with like, oh, wait, that matches like perfectly. Oh, hold on. Wait a minute. This might actually work somehow. It might even work with the weird circle window if I really tried hard enough. I've gone through and placed some windows. I don't really know if these are ugly or not. I think they are a little bit, and I liked the other ones better, but I think that these look better together. Now I wanna go try and get some debug vines to put on the outside because I think that's gonna help make it look a little bit less weird. We've got these vines from university that kind of wrap around the walls, and I think they're gonna be perfect for this. Obviously that is kind of clipping a little bit. Just ignore that, okay? I think I'll try to cover any clipping with like a tree or something. I'm just not really sure how yet. Okay, this actually is kind of making like a massive difference. It's looking way better already. Oh, that is such a relief. I was so worried that it was gonna be a disaster and like so ugly, but now all of a sudden it's kind of working maybe a little bit. I'm not really sure how to put it on this part because the size of it is not so good for this, but maybe just something little like that would be okay. There are these kind of cool purpley mushrooms. I might grab some of these to use to landscape. And then I kind of talked about using trees to hide clipping. So I might put a couple of these small trees around too, just to kind of cover up the spots where things are looking a little weird. I always forget about this brick fence, but it has like the moss growing on top and it kind of matches the building too. When I'm doing landscaping in The Sims, I typically like to try to layer things. So what I'll do first is go through and put a whole bunch of low-lying plants, kind of like these. And then I go in and find some bigger plants, maybe some taller bushes, and I layer those in as well. And basically landscaping for me is just a whole lot of layering. I like these purple ones because I kind of wanted to have purple before and then I felt like I had to get rid of it because it looked weird in the windows. And these purple flowers also kind of match the purple mushrooms that I wanted to add in. I'm not really certain how many of these mushrooms I should use. I really like them, but I don't know like how much is too much because they're also really, really big, but I think that's okay. Like I think it's kind of fun how they're giant. This is literally a magic house, so it is okay if there are giant mushrooms. It's just a lot. Ew, I was thinking about trying to use these bushes, but they look really ugly there. The green is like really off. I need to use debug ones. I wish there was more swatches of bushes. We need so many more plain bushes in the base game. You would think that that wouldn't be too much to ask because I literally just want a plain bush, but for some reason we don't have that many of them. In debug, there's a darker swatch of that same bush, and this is the one that I end up using the most often because it just blends in a little bit better and looks a bit more natural. This green is really jarring. It's like lime green. The darker green looks a lot better to me, especially when you have to use it in so many places like I am right now. I'm putting this thing everywhere, so having that bright green color would be a lot. All right, I finished the landscaping and all the terrain paint. I'm actually really happy with how this turned out. I do need to think about the backyard some more later, but for now I want to go back inside because we have not furnished this at all. I'm basically planning on using Realm of Magic stuff everywhere in this build. I know that this is kind of a weird color, okay, but look, it matches the door. It has like the light color and the dark brown, and I think I'll try to use this cool stone in the basement. I'm tempted to use the stone in the kitchen too, but I also think that it maybe almost looks a little bit weird. Ooh, that green and gold looks really cool. I might try to use that. Of course, there's not going to be a matching sink unless I tried to do gold. I don't know. There are so many little cabinets and things from this pack that I want to use everywhere, and there's not enough space to put them. There's like not enough room in this house because it's so small. I so badly wish that we had matching cabinets for these. And the vampires cabinets do come in a similar color. They're not like exactly the same, but these could probably work as upper cabinets in this kitchen. I just don't know if upper cabinets make sense in this kitchen. Okay, here's what I've got so far without cluttering it too much because I want it to still be functional so your Sims can cook on this corner counter. We've got all the important appliances. We also have a cauldron. I like this little cauldron corner a lot, to be honest. And then I think that is the finished kitchen. Out here, I'm thinking we'll have this big space be the living room, and then I'll put a little dining table in this corner. A lot of these cabinets are gonna have to go downstairs because there's no space for them up here. I'm going back and forth a lot right now between regretting that the house is so small, but also being kind of glad because it almost fits the vibes better because it is small. Because I like how tiny and cottagey it is, but also I wish I had more space to decorate. Couple other big problems. Number one, I despise this fireplace. I have tried so many times in houses like this to make this fireplace work, and I just don't like it. I don't like the swatches on the stone. I don't like the texture. I wish that I could. I find this thing so hard to use. And also when you light the fireplace, the flames are blue instead of orange like a regular fire. But I just can't. I just don't like it. I can't use it. I don't know if I'll ever be able to bring myself to like that thing. Despite my best efforts, I don't know. I really, really don't like it. I like the vampire fireplace a bit better, but I also like the little stone fireplaces too, and I don't know which one makes the most sense for in here. I'm kind of leaning towards the stone. Why did none of the curtains fit? I just hate this game. Why do they do this? Why? You can't even size them down because they're like too high on the wall. I tried putting this growing together couch in here and it's growing on me, no pun intended, because I feel like it ties everything together pretty well. And then if I use this couch, I also have space for one of these kind of cute cabinets. We need a grandfather clock. This thing fits perfectly in here. Serious question. Do I care if this is clipping? I don't know if I do. It's kind of bothering me a little bit, but it doesn't look that bad from, oh, maybe it does. I don't know. It fits and I want to use those curtains, so maybe I just will anyway. I very rarely try to use books from Debug, like the actual books your Sims can read as decorations, but they look kind of cute in here. We also have brooms, and these are like the brooms that your Sims can fly around on, so I might try and use that as decoration too, because it looks pretty cool on the wall. Even witches have phones and keys these days, so we can put some of those on their little entryway table. So here's what I've got for the little entryway. I've got some bookshelves here. They've got a place for their shoes. We have a little table and a spot to put our mail and things. And then you come into the living room. We've got the dining room in the corner with like some art and some wall sconces. We've got the big living setup with the fireplace. No TV because I feel like it looks weird on this mantle, so I just didn't. But we have like a cabinet and stuff. And then in the way back, we have that fancy kitchen. And now I want to work on the hallway, bathroom, and bedroom areas. I did this in the haunted house that I built and I thought it looked so cool. So what I'm thinking is maybe we can put on the corner here like a little built-in bookshelf situation. We'll put columns around it so it looks like it's built in, but that's actually a doorway. I don't really know why they've got a secret witchy room, but I guess they do. Also, that's not functional. Hold on, sorry. Your Sims couldn't get in there. My bad. I fixed it. It's fine. It's fine. I'm always trying to think of ways to make those bookcase doors look less weird. They're just so flat, so sometimes they look a little bit strange. I think adding the columns to the side helps. Oh, and we get to use the absolute most beautiful bed in the entire world. Realm of Magic has some really nice furniture in it. I'm kind of torn between this roses one, because that matches the rest of the house better, or using this one, because I just think that's so pretty. Oh, you can store potions in this cabinet. I'm gonna put those there. I guess I'll also do the size down. Oh no, that looks really bad. Never mind, sorry. Was it this one that looked better? I'll do that size down thing again with the curtain here. I struggle so much with like even the rug sizes in this game. Realm of Magic is just really lacking in so many ways. It's got such cool stuff, but there's just not enough of it to do full builds. Oh, hold on, I've changed my mind. I'm changing the whole color scheme. I really like this dark color in here. I think that that reddish color looks way better. Although I do have to change this then, because I shouldn't use the same thing twice in different colors, but I can put that one in here. Oh, now I don't know what rug to use. Nothing matches. I'm changing everything. I don't know. I don't know what I want. I changed the color scheme in here too. I don't know. I just didn't like the black, okay? Okay, I think I fixed it all. We've got the bedroom. We've got this little tiny hallway filled in with some random stuff. This is the finished living room and entryway now. And we have the bathroom and the whole basement left to finish. To be honest, I hate a lot of the Realm of Magic bathroom stuff. It's interesting. It's just like kind of dramatic. Like, I don't know if I can bring myself to use this toilet. This is like a peacock sink. I mean, it's fine. It's just maybe a little bit fancier than what I want. I'm kind of more thinking like plain bathtub, simple toilet situation. Gold is beautiful, but like not everything needs to have gold accents everywhere, you know? So here's what I've got for the bathroom. We've got a tiny sink and everything, couple little pieces of decor. I was thinking about doing some solid wood paneling on these basement walls. And then in this basement, I want to have bookshelves. I want to have cabinets. I'd also like to get another cauldron down here. And basically anything else Realm of Magic that we have missed, we have to add downstairs. I'd like it to be kind of fancy down here. I'm not really going for creepy basement. I'm sort of going for fancy basement. We are a fancy spellcaster with a fancy spellcasting basement, and we have a cool like bejeweled cauldron. That is actually perfect. That is just what I wanted out of this. We have to be a little bit careful about space because there's not that much room down here. I think this is all still functional. Why does that not slot to the center of this table? Oh my god. Every time I start to like the game again, something else happens that just makes me want to cry. I put a couple brooms on this wall, and then I'm thinking I want to get like that little wand box. I can put a book on the desk and maybe a couple fancy shelves on the wall so we could display like 3 different wands. I'm kind of going for like magical office down here, more so than potion room. And there's some really fancy wands. These are the ones that came in the werewolves pack. There's like a couple interesting lore unlockables between the werewolves and magic pack. So this wand is one of the first ever crafted, and it's like a secret one that you can find. There's actually so many different types. I like the idea of some collectibles up there. And then maybe this room is finished. I'm worried about overdoing it, so I might leave it there. And now we just have the exterior left to do. I did go and get this cute little telescope that I wanted to put in, so I might stick that somewhere in the backyard. And then last, I was thinking I'd get some planter boxes because I want your Sims to be able to use that to grow stuff that you can make potions out of. But otherwise, I don't really want to put too much in the backyard. I kind of want to leave it. And I think the house might be done. I always get nervous saying that because I don't want to call it and then like forget something. Oh wait, I did forget something. I have no trash cans anywhere. Hold on. That would be important. I'll put it kind of close to the back door because then it's easy for you to throw things away because I didn't put one in the kitchen. Let me give you a quick tour then. So you first enter the house from here in this little entryway. You walk into the combination living and dining rooms. I put a lot of witchy things on the walls like the broom and the cool potion pictures, which I unfortunately used literally everywhere in this house. And then down here in the back, we've got the kitchen. We have a little hallway, 1 bedroom only, which is kind of sad, 1 bathroom. And then we have that sneaky little basement area as well that you can access from the bedroom. And that is the finished house. I'm gonna put this on the gallery. I'm gonna call it a spellcaster cottage. It's only 1 bedroom and 1 bathroom. It's also 65,000 simoleons, which is way too much money, sorry. And I didn't end up decorating it at all for Halloween, but that's okay. It's just fun. And this is actually useful now because it's not tied to a holiday. And I will stick it on the gallery. I have not saved a single time, so please don't crash. I always forget and then I like really regret it, but it seems like we're okay. Okay, we're good. And on that note, I'm gonna end this video right here. Again, I'm gonna be live this afternoon working on renovating Vlad's house, like the big giant vampire mansion that is extremely ugly. So if you wanna watch me do that on my Twitch channel, I'll have it linked down below. It's probably gonna take me more than 1 day, so just follow me so you don't miss the next stream of it, and I'll catch you all later, okay? Bye, everybody. Also, I am in fact wearing my Taylor Swift Speak Now cardigan right now. It's got like little sparkles on the sleeves, which I kind of felt were appropriate for this.